Bill. It's been a long time since we had our first fireside chat about records management. With spring just around the corner, I wonder if our records liaisons would like some tips on how to clean out their overloaded email inbox.
I think that is a wonderful idea, Joyce. In fact, it might be helpful to explain how managing email can be just like a tennis game.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean when you say, just like a tennis game.
Let me explain. When you receive an email message related to your daily tasks and you respond to it, that is like returning a serve that your opponent has given you in a game of tennis. Now if your opponent responds back to you, and you in turn respond again, that is like an ongoing volley. And just like in tennis, nobody wants the ball to be in their court when the volley is over. In other words, nobody wants to be responsible for keeping the email. But unlike the game of tennis, with email, even though nobody wants to be responsible for keeping it, nearly everyone is keeping it anyway.
So, Bill, if email is like a long volley in a tennis game, but unlike a long volley, everyone is keeping the ball, I mean the email messages, what kinds of tips can we give our records liaisons for cleaning out their inboxes?
Here are some simple tips. Flag, drag, or bag. 1. Flag email messages that are urgent and respond to all messages as soon as possible. 2. Drag messages you want to keep for reference into a reference folder. 3. Bag or delete any messages you do not need the very moment you know you don't need them. And 4. You also may want to forward an important message to someone else if you don't have time to respond. Also, a really helpful tip is to be sure you do not use your work email for personal matters. All email messages are considered to be property of the university.
Well, Bill, I think some of those tips are helpful. But I still do not know when I should or should not keep my email. And even for the ones I keep, where should I put them?
You will want to ask your supervisor for instructions on what specific email messages you should retain. Usually, there will be a very small number of messages you will keep as records. Everything else is just a transitory message or something you might like to retain for reference purposes. For any email messages that you must retain as records, your department or unit should identify where they will be kept. Records generally should not live only in an email system, no matter how organized it is. This means your department should have a plan for where these records will be stored and a plan for how they will eventually be purged along with other records.
Well, Bill, that's all we have time for today. I hope our records liaisons have found this fireside chat helpful. I know I have. If you have a burning question about your records or if you have a tip you want to share with others, just send it to the RIMS group and we will talk about it at our next chat.